You're listening to Mid-Morning Matters on MarlowFM 97.5.
My next guest is Matt Lovett, good friend of mine, and also a personal trainer at an organisation called APS Fitness. Matt, good morning.
Good morning.
So tell me a little bit about APS Fitness.
APS Fitness is a business that I run with a friend of mine, Ross. We've been running it since 2011. And all things health and fitness, but these days a lot to do with kind of pain and injury, as well as sports performance, and just generally getting people a little bit healthier.
Right, I know you do a lot of work in rehabilitation for people with injuries as well, don't you?
We have started to do a lot more of that in recent times, yeah. Mainly due to the prevalence of pain. Lots of people have other things they want to work on. They want to work on their sport, or feeling a bit better about themselves, or whatever it is. But a lot of them have back pain or hip pain or something that's preventing that in the first place. So we've tried to come up with techniques and ways of getting over that, so then we can get onto the other thing. And now we kind of mainly do a lot of pain.
So as well as helping people recover from any issues they have, it's also much better to stop people getting in the issues in the first place. So I know you've come up with this list of, is it 30 individual tips?
So this, the idea was we just came up with a list of 30 little habits to help you feel a little more awesome. Was I think the title of the blog that we put out. And the idea is to give, a lot of people want to get healthier. They want to start doing things and they don't quite know where to start. So, go down the list, grab one that appeals and start there. Okay,
so you've got a list of 30. So what we'll do today is we're going to go through that list. We probably won't do all 30 because we haven't got that long together. But let's just see how many we can get through and give them each the time they deserve. So I've got the list in front of me, but I'm not going to look at that list. I'm just going to randomly choose the first one from it. So it's number one. Then I'll choose one much later on. But the first one is number one. What is your number one tip? That isn't number one being the best tip. That's the number one just of a list of equals.
Yes, this isn't in any particular order. Number one we put on the list was to get your walking boots on more often, and that's sort of figuratively. You don't have to have walking boots. It can be anything. I mean, on the list it also says in brackets Vibrams. As anyone knows me, I walk around in kind of slightly odd shoes that are barefoot shoes. But yeah, go walking more. It's something the body absolutely understands. So it's a great reset for the body. If ever I've got aches and pains or maybe a headache, going for a walk, the body knows that and understands that movement very well. The body works as a pump mechanism, so by walking you get spinal fluid moved up and down, you get blood moved around, you get oxygen moved around, so you often just feel way better, even immediately. From going from the walk. It can help, especially if you've got hips and low back niggles, it can help reset the pelvis, because you've got your gait as you're walking, the rhythm of it can help reset the pelvis. You can feel sort of better in your mind and stuff because you've got blood pumping around, oxygen pumping around. Often, hopefully, you're walking outside, so you get some fresh air. Your eyes often get a break from screens and other things. So with sort of, if you've only got 10 minutes or a small amount of time to do something, walking is a great way to feel better. Plus, if you do it regularly, you're burning a few more calories.
Right. Do you set a particular distance measurement or number of minutes or a number of steps done? Is there anything you have to say, today you have to do this much, tomorrow you have to do a little bit more, or does that not really matter?
Not really. I kind of like walking is more of a health thing rather than an activity. You can absolutely, there's Nordic walking, there's all types of walking you can do to burn calories and make it kind of a more fitness activity. But I think even the people that, play a lot of sport or go to the gym anyway, can do with a little bit of fresh air and walking as more of a health or relaxation activity. So I just get out and do some walking. It's 5-10 minutes. I mean, if I'm ever sort of home doing a lot of admin work for the business, I use it as breaks. There's a little 5-minute loop I can do, and I'll go and do a loop of 5 minutes of walking. It's great to help kind of loosen my back up from sitting still and relax my eyes a little bit.
And clears the head as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, just don't put too many parameters on it to start with, and get out and do some walking.
Okay, so number one on your list, not in any particular order of preference, just happens to be the first one you thought of when you wrote up the list, was get your shoes on, or get your Vibrams on in your case, and go and do some walking.
Go do some walking.
Well, Matt, I have to say I'm enjoying looking through this list of healthy tips you've come up with, a total of 30. And you've asked me to choose the next one. So I wanted to choose two at one go now. So numbers 14 and 16 from your list.
Okay, so food-related ones.
Yeah, we had a walking one. Let's have some food stuff.
Okay, so number 14 on the list is eat natural whole foods at most meals. If it walks around or grows from the ground, you're probably onto a winner. So this is, in reality, a way to try and simplify, all the confusion around food. And one of the first things that you can do is to simply eat real, and I'm using quotation marks because it's a phrase that's thrown around a lot, foods. So, I mean, if it grows, so vegetables and other things, or if it walks around, which I guess still grows but doesn't grow at the ground, then
or swims perhaps,
or swims, absolutely. So then that's a real food. We often call it single ingredient food. You don't actually have an ingredient list on an apple.
Yes,
it's just an apple. Start with them. Yes, you can argue about where you got it from and how it was grown and stuff, but in reality, if you're eating, a lot of food that's gone through a lot of processing and has got a lot of additives in it and stuff, if you simply switched to single ingredient real foods, the nutrition value of it goes through the roof, and you'll be, not getting as many additives that are in other things, so it's a double win. And usually for any, whatever your goal, be it, better sports performance, less pain, better body composition, more nutrients will do the world of good.
And of course, you can combine these single ingredient foods into a meal.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. So you don't have to just eat an apple and then eat a chicken, and then you can make the processed meals. You can put your single ingredients through a process and turn them into a curry, a lasagna, or whatever it is that you're doing. But make it from fresh single ingredient.
Without needing to add any number of additional additives.
Yeah, lots of those things. Lots of the ready-made things will add things in that if you were making it from scratch, you wouldn't.
Right. Is that also linked into the fact that you should really not choose anything that's got stuff in it that you don't know what it is?
I wouldn't advise it. I mean, I wouldn't... Yeah, and I think people inherently know that. If you were making a meal, you wouldn't dump something in it if you had absolutely no idea what it was. So I wouldn't necessarily buy something that had been through that process. But rather than worrying about all the different fads and the different things, start with real food. Right. Then you can make little tweaks for your goal. Or there might be certain real foods that don't suit you so well, but that's a great place to start. And it's also a really good place to start because you don't even necessarily have to worry about cutting things back. If you add in real food, then usually it satisfies hunger and stuff longer, and you actually tend to eat less of the things that maybe you're trying to cut back on anyway, because you're satisfied, you're full, you feel better, so you need less. If you start by taking things away, you end up wishing you had some treats and hungry. It's not a good idea. So if you actually just think about eating whole foods, bringing more of them into your diet, not only do you get sort of more nutrients, you feel better, but you probably start to eat less of the stuff that's not so good for you anyway, by default.
That seems to make an awful lot of sense. So sticking with the area of nutrition and eating, I've gone for number 16 as the next one to talk about. So this is on your list of your top personal 30 list of hints and tips to make yourself into a more amazing person. Yeah,
so very much linked to the first one. This is vegetables, red ones, green ones, orange ones, purple ones, eat them all. I think vegetables are probably the least taken care of aspect of nutrition. Right. I think that, lots of people eat carbohydrates. That's kind of, probably too many carbohydrates in most people's cases. Protein is also, quite neglected, but veggies have a real hard time. And it's a shame because there are so many. I don't like all of them. But the more variety of them you can have, the more, micronutrients, the more vitamins and minerals and stuff we get in, and fibre and all sorts of things. They're just miraculous. And I think the people are really lacking vegetables. And I think that, they're almost whole foods medicine. You can do wonderful things by eating vegetables and stuff. And I think a lot of people are, need medicine, need corrections, mainly because of and need supplements, mainly because of a lack of vegetables. Yeah. Because vegetables are full of vitamins, full of minerals, full of sort of chemicals we don't even know what they do yet, but they're naturally occurring chemicals, phytochemicals. Yeah. And but they're not usually full of calories, and they're not usually packed out with fat and sugar. No, and also they are carbohydrates, and some of them are slightly starchy carbohydrates, but in such a better fashion than a lot of the refined, normalized carbohydrates are. So, I mean, they'll keep you full. They do sort of loads of things. They keep you regular, keep you full, keep you, like, healthy because of all the vitamins and minerals in. So if you're going to, if point 14 was to eat loads of whole foods, then supplement it with 16 and make a vast majority of those whole foods vegetables. And, experiment. Find the ones that you like and find out the way of cooking them you like. And if you're lucky enough to like lots of them, then eat, all different colours, have them raw, cook them sometimes, play around, because that stuff all changes the vitamin availability of, the micronutrient availability through the food.
Yeah, because the colours of vegetables, for example, if you think of peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers and green peppers, they've actually got totally different chemical makeups in terms of which you can tell from the colour, if you like, because that contributes some of the micronutrients in them leads to the colour. Yeah.
It's just a great way of kind of encouraging people, have red peppers, have green broccoli, have sweet potatoes, try all sorts of things. But yeah, vegetable, you can't go wrong. It's very rare. I don't think I've yet to meet someone with a vegetable problem.
A vegetable addiction problem.
Yeah, well, yeah, or that it's treating their belly bad. Obviously dairy and wheat can cause issues, but vegetables rarely. I'm sure there are people out there.
So that's 2 tips for the price of 1. So tip number 14, which is eat more single ingredient foods, and tip 14, and then tip 16 was to eat your veggies.
Absolutely.
Right, let's choose another number from your list, Matt. So Matt's sitting here with his eagerly self-compiled list of 30 top tips to make you a little bit more amazing. And I chose the first 3 numbers. So, Matt, you choose a number this time.
Okay, well, I'm going to choose number 2.
Number 2, okay. That's an easy one to find, top of the list.
It's one that I think is, important to a lot of people, especially when you're making decisions to, maybe a little bit healthier or to move more. And so number 2 is find your reason to move. Could be for your health, your sport, your kids, your confidence, whatever the reason is, find it and hold on to it to help when you're struggling for motivation. And I think that, this is a big one for a lot of people because, forming new habits, getting out and going to the gym or, going to your sport on a rainy Thursday night and eating a few more vegetables and, cutting back on alcohol or cake or whatever it is that's your vice is tricky.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of dedication and a little bit of sacrifice here and there. And I think it's very hard to do if you haven't got a good why. Yeah. If it's because you were told to by someone on the radio with a list. Or
who might that be?
Or if it was because, your neighbour next door's doing it, it's not going to stick for very long. But if you can, if you love your sport, if you find something you love doing, then you'll go on a Thursday night, not because, you have to stay healthy, but because you love doing it.
Yeah.
And, you go around, you do whatever your sport is, it keeps you active, it keeps you healthy, and, you get those things because you're doing something that you love. If you can't find any physical activity that you just love to do, then find a deeper why. Maybe it's to stay healthy and, have good movement ability so you can play with your kids more, or you stay around for longer to see things. Maybe it's so that you're, I even tell people, you'll enjoy lazing around and watching TV and stuff more on a Sunday afternoon if you're fit and healthy, because you won't have headaches, you won't have neck ache, you won't have backache. So maybe it's just so you'll enjoy things more and not get, hindered. You can go on holiday unrestricted is a big phrase we like to throw around. Maybe you can go away and do a new hobby or, try skiing, go for that walk up the mountain on holiday or whatever it is you want to do without worrying about, I can't because of my knee or I'm not very confident to because I don't do those things. It's not nice to feel restricted.
Yeah.
So if you can find a reason, a deep reason, it just helps you, get up early in the morning to go and do something or, maybe say no to a bit of cake on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, so it's quite hard to get up and walk around unless you have an objective to do it. But if you have an objective for doing that, if you're going somewhere to do something, then that's great. So you can get walking around for a particular reason.
Yeah, I think it should be your reason.
Yeah, of course. And the other thing is that while you're walking around, you're unlikely, that's not impossible, of course, you're unlikely to be mindlessly eating if you're walking around. So if you've found a reason to get up and go somewhere and you're walking to that place, then you're unlikely to be mindlessly eating. Which of course is a concern for some people who want to lose weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So that was tip number 2 from your list, yeah?
Yes.
Right, so we've still got quite a few tips to get through. We haven't got that much time left, but we'll see how many of them we can get through. And if we don't get through the full list, which I'm sure we won't, then I'll tell people how to get hold of your full list at the end of the broadcast. Matt, going down your list, do you want to have a go at quite a few? Should we start at number 20 and see how far we get?
All right, let's reel some off, shall we?
Yeah, that's a big list.
So number 20, so do you remember when you were young, no younger than that, and spent lots of time outdoors playing? Do more of that. So this is really just, there's a lot of prescription in health and fitness. You know, you go to the gym this many times, you do this thing, you do, you know, and we developed our way of moving and being healthy just by playing and exploring. And often that was outside, which is, you know, beneficial in its own right. So I think abandoning, you know, set ideas every so often and just going and having fun in a movement, you know, scenario outdoors is fantastic for you.
Yeah, I remember seeing a placard somewhere that said, "Don't grow up. It's a bad idea."
Yeah,
so
I think it's probably true. I think it's, you know, playing was, you know, there was less rules. There was less worry about outcomes. You're not worried about how much weight I lift or how fast I do something. You know, just go and have fun and explore. And you know, I think it opens up a world of opportunity.
Is that to do with the way we live life these days? We're driven by deadlines, driven by things we have to do by a particular time or a particular place. You're thinking we should play a bit more. Should go back to being our kids again. Yeah,
go and have some fun. Go and, you know, do handstands in the park, or go and balance on railings. You know, whatever it is. I mean, that's not going to appeal to everyone, but, you know, give yourself some license to have fun and go and explore the world. You know, moving around again.
Is that for physical benefits or mental benefits or both?
Both. I mean, if you go and sort of explore things, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be outside. I mean, go to a dance class for no other reason than it's just fun to have a dance around, or, you know, dance around your kitchen, or go out in the garden and you know, do some cartwheels or try. I mean, obviously you'll physically move around, but obviously sometimes just by exploring and, you know, not having so set ideas on outcomes and stuff is great for the mind. It's great to mentally relax a little bit.
That's a very good idea. So that's tip number 20, isn't it?
That's 20.
So I wonder what the next one is. I haven't actually looked at this part of the list, so it's all down to you now. So what's on number 21?
21 is embrace the belly. Belly breathe as much as possible so the body feels calm and soft. So one of the things we see a lot is people shallow breathing, people breathing through their chest. And this is actually becoming, I mean, we've been talking about belly breathing for years, but it's actually getting a bit more mainstream attention now.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you could spend more time breathing through your diaphragm, breathing through your belly like a baby does when it's first born.
So how do you do that specifically? Do you just breathe more deeply?
Yeah, well, it's breathing using your diaphragm. But usually when you say breathe using your diaphragm, people have no idea what a diaphragm is or where a diaphragm, how do you do that?
So you can now enlighten them.
Yeah, so the best way to think of it is through your belly. So I mean, if you simply put your hands on your belly and take a breath and try and expand your belly, if your belly rises up and away from you, then your diaphragm is stretching and you can get a little bit of a deeper breath. And it's just calming. If you breathe through your diaphragm, it relaxes the body, sends calming signals. If you breathe more through the neck and chest, that's more linked to the fight or flight response, which, you know, invokes stress hormones and feeling a little bit more tense. So breathing more naturally through the belly, you know, sitting down and being stressed out at work all day is kind of led us to breathing higher up in the chest and neck.
And breathing through the belly, does that lead to a slower rhythm of breathing?
Yeah, usually you can't breathe through your belly if you're being chased by something. Right. It doesn't work. So if you take time to breathe through the belly, it'll be slower, deeper breaths. The deeper you get air down into the lungs, the more there are sensors down there, and that'll send relaxing signals to the body. So in times when you're feeling a bit stressed, try to belly breathe. And in times when you're not stressed, make sure you're not breathing in a stressful way. So if you're enjoying a nice relaxing bath, breathe in a way that, you know, goes along with the bath rather than, you know, having a relaxing bath but breathing shallow. So,
and this is leading to relaxation, a state of relaxation, a state of well-being as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we want to be, you know, the gym and sport and other things are times for being a bit intense, but you want it to be short and sharp. You don't want that to be jammed on all day, those reactions of, you know, intensity. So if you can then breathe slow and deep and calm and do that most of the day, you'll be in a healthier position.
Yeah, I'm always in favour of people not being in red alert mode all day long.
Absolutely.
And belly breathing is going to stop people being in
it's a great way to speak to your body and kind of get it to understand what kind of state you'd like to be in.
Right. Do you find you have to tell this to quite a few of your clients? Or?
Near enough everyone. One of the first things we do with everyone is teach them to breathe and relax. Because especially if you're trying to do things, a lot of people might need to, work on some movement or loosen up something that's a bit tight. But if you do that with stress breathing, the body won't loosen because it's stressed, it's worried. So you have to get them to breathe and relax into certain positions. And you have to start that with just breathing.
Right. That's a great tip. So that was number 21, I think, wasn't it?
Number 21. We got on 22.
Yeah. If we've discussed 21 to death, which I think we have, so let's go to 22.
So you've had a manic day at work, been to the gym, and posted about it all over social media. How about some quiet time as well?
Right. That wouldn't be targeted at me, would it, by any chance?
No. I think it's a lot of people. It's just a little reminder that you don't have to be on the go all the time. So, I mean, some of the obviously the list is almost contradictory in a way. Get up, do some movement, get going, don't sit on your bum too much. But at the same time, I think we're driving that into society more and more. Do get up, go, earn more, do more, lift more, run more. You need some quiet time too, some downtime. And again, this is kind of like the playing, but resting, but in a fun way. So rather than do something nourishing, read a great book, have some downtime, have a bath with some candles lit, take some time for yourself. It's okay. I think people need to give themselves license to look after themselves and have a break. It doesn't all have to be achieving things, and they balance each other nicely.
It's okay to relax, and this actually goes well with the belly breathing as well, doesn't it? 'Cause
yeah.
When you're relaxed, you're much more likely to be able to do that belly breathing.
Yeah, I think it's not only kind of okay, it's necessary.
Yeah.
You will burn out. It will become a problem. So you need to, relax.
Yeah. I think it's an excellent idea, and people are too busy chasing deadlines and so on these days, and they don't give themselves time to relax in the way you describe.
Yeah, it's great to achieve things, absolutely. But, you can't. The body will get you to slow down one way or the other. You can either do it with a nice book and a bath at night time, or you can do it with a cold or a wrist injury or a knee injury or whatever it is. You will somehow burn out and have to have a stop. So have one first.
Yeah, choose to do it when you want to do it.
Yes.
And without the pain that goes with it.
Yes.
Right, let's have one more.
What's the next one?
So that was 21, wasn't it?
That was 22.
22.
23 obviously very similar to the other one, is just play more. It's okay to take a break from all the super serious adult stuff. So we talked about playing outdoors, and that was more kind of get out and explore. This is just to, again, you can see where my brain was at when I was writing the first 20s. But yeah, just play. Not everything is serious. There's lots of serious things in life, but you can't all be serious. There's more to life than that. So if sometimes if you're going to go to the gym, for instance, which is obviously our world, we talk about it quite a lot. Have a play in the do something you haven't done before. If you've had a really stressful day and the last thing you feel like doing is going to the gym and doing your routine, but that movement will make you feel a bit better. You are trying to achieve something. You don't want to feel like you've not done anything. Go play. Go do a class you've not done.
Yeah.
It's okay to at home take a break, play a game, do something that's not so serious. I think we touched on it a lot earlier, but yeah, you don't have to be grown up and super serious and adult all the time.
One thing I like about the items on your list is a lot of them are about your mental health and your mental positivity, as well as looking after your physical health. Yeah,
I think you've got to look after the whole package. I don't want to be super fit and have pain. I don't want to be super, well, not that anyone accuse me of, but I don't want to be super intelligent and not be able to move properly. I try and be as balanced as and as unrestricted as you can.
So let's look at a few more of the numbers from your list, Matt. We've only got time, I think, for 2 or 3 more. So let's move up the list to a higher number. Let's try somewhere around in the mid-teens or whatever.
Okay. You want to give me one?
I'll go for 12. Should we try 12?
Let me find 12. So, include some new movement into your life every so often. Variety being the spice of life and all of that.
New movement.
I think that the body responds really well to movement variety. So obviously if there's specific things, if you're a runner, you've got to go run. That's a given. But the body, in terms of health and feeling good and feeling as awesome as you can, variety is really good. So not chasing one pattern of movement over and over. We can obviously get repetitive injuries from doing that. So and it will also make you, well-rounded. Lifting, if you're a runner, doing some pushing and pulling will, make dragging things around the garden or putting something in the overhead locker or on a plane easier. And the body responds well to a bit of variety and a bit of new every now and then. So yeah, even if you've got a good movement routine that you like and that works for you, try experimenting, try putting some variety in there.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because so many people focus themselves on one sport that they like or one aspect of fitness that they like and then don't consider doing anything else.
Yeah, and also if you drive one pattern too much, it can actually
be detrimental.
Backfire. Yes, yeah. It can, if you neglect something for a while, it can actually cause a problem. So by keeping variety, not only does it keep it a bit fun, it actually keeps you moving better usually.
Yeah. Often that might become the case of people who are, say, training for a triathlon, for example, or training for a marathon, whether they only focus on that particular sports.
Yeah, and those sports tend to be in one plane of movement as well, so there's not much twisting and things like that, and that's why some really fit people can injure themselves in really mundane ways, because they've moved out of the plane they usually move, and they've twisted or they're side bent, and they're not ready for that. And usually the fitter you are, the more vigorously you'll move in a direction you're not used to moving, and so that's why those people can, someone really fit can throw back out doing something really, really nothing.
Simple, because they haven't moved that particular way before.
Yeah.
Or not recently anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fantastic tip. So that was number 12, wasn't it?
That was number 12.
Let's move on to number 13.
Treat yourself to a new water bottle and then get drinking. So this is obviously, anyone that's heard me speak on here before, probably, I thought we were going to get away with not mentioning hydration and water, but it's snuck in. So this is just a way of making that more fun. Buy yourself a new water bottle, something nice. We usually recommend, some stainless steel because it doesn't leach into the water, but just something to keep with you that will remind you to drink from it.
Right, so does an old water bottle actually create problems in terms of the chemicals from the plastic getting into the water?
Technically, old plastic can leach.
Right.
That's why they can, it's recommended not to reuse plastic water bottles you buy from shops and to have a glass or stainless steel water bottle that you can use every day. Obviously, glass is a bit problematic. I had one and it smashed quite quickly.
I can see why a glass water bottle isn't an ideal thing.
Yeah, it's not the ideal thing in this current world, but a stainless steel bottle, you can get loads of them nowadays. And also it keeps water quite cool and things for quite a period of time. So it just makes drinking a little bit more fun. But the idea is to fill it up with water, I guess I should add. Yeah. And then get drinking.
Yeah, hydration only works with water.
Yeah, mainly, yes.
Yeah. So that was a great tip. So we're gradually working our way down the list of the 30 tips to make you feel just a little bit more awesome. I think that's the way you call it, isn't it?
Yes.
And let's time for... I've got 2 more. Let's do 2 more.
Okay, go. So
keep the sequence going. We've done 12 and 13, I think.
So 14 we've already done.
Okay.
So 15, reduce alcohol intake just a little. Give your body a break every now and again and see how you feel.
Right.
There are lots of talks about what you should do alcohol-wise and volumes of it. I'm not really, don't want to get too preachy on it, but a break, certainly for organ function, is usually a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know too many people that don't have little breaks every now and again. And I'm talking sort of days, just have a couple of days off. Don't drink every single day, and usually the liver and everything just works a little bit better. We feel a little bit fresher.
Right, and these the number of days across a week perhaps would make sense. So if you missed out drinking on 3 or 4 days in the middle of the week and save your drinking for the weekends, is that a sensible strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't tend to tell people. I don't think you should, don't save it all up for that one big night on Friday. It's just if you've maybe had a drink 3 or 4 nights in a row, have a break. It just helps them. And that you can, to be fair, you say the same thing about caffeine. You can say the same thing about exercising. You need your muscles or different organs just need a rest. It just helps them function a bit better. So right or wrong as to whether alcohol is healthy, non-healthy, take that out of it. Just a little break with anything usually helps the body just function a little easier.
I mean, alcohol is the one we're talking about in this particular point on your list, but in fact that's the same thing with anything, isn't it? Anything done to excess is not going to do any good.
Yeah, the body just, a little bit of balance here and there, a little bit of a rest every now and again does it good.
Brilliant, excellent. Let's have one more. That was 15, wasn't it?
Well, we did 16 as well, so we're going to 17. So the point is, eat slower. Only air should be inhaled. Take your time, enjoy your meal, and stop when you're no longer hungry. So no surprise food babies for you.
Right.
It's just if you eat slower and if you take distractions out, so you take TV out, take conversations with those people and just eat and think about the food. You usually work out when you're actually full. And if you work out when you're actually full, you won't give your digestion a hard time and you won't take on extra calories that you don't need.
Makes sense. Matt, that's been a great list. So how many of your lists have you looked through? About maybe 10 or so?
Yeah, maybe about a third of it.
OK, what's your website if people want to go and look at the rest of the list?
So if they go to apsfitness.co.uk, find our blog section, and they'll find it there.
apsfitness.co.uk. Matt, thanks for coming in, and everybody go and look at that website and go and find the list to find the other ones on that list we haven't got around to seeing today.
You're listening to Mid Morning Matters on MarlowFM 97.5.